Hey there! Oh, what's this? Just the most incredible video game podcast. Oh, the hosts?
Two dudes chiseled from the highest peak of Gamer Mountain, Tim Shortell and Val Janvier. Oh yeah! Welcome to the Couch Jockeys.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are the Couch Jockeys.
Easy. Keep it easy.
I was actually going to throw an actual effect, but I much prefer your echo.
Oh, yeah, man. You don't have to pay for that extra stuff. No plugins over here.
Yeah, no, low budget.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
Straight up.
We are the Couch Jockeys, a video game podcast. My name is Tim Shortell. With me,
Valerie Janvier.
Valerie.
Javier.
And we have an awesome show for you tonight. Our player select section today is virtual reality gaming.
A waste of time.
Really?
Yep. I'm not
See,
for it.
I mean, maybe no. I mean, you're right. There's a discussion in that. It could be the future, but is it the future though?
I can see it being the future for other platforms or other things, but for gaming, I think it's like a novelty act. That's it. Like something that you don't really need that maybe the rich kid is going to have.
Oh, okay. VR for the rich kids.
There's a slogan.
Bit from the past is our favorite stealth games growing up, and the growth of the genre, especially coming from the early PlayStation era, moving forward. And then we will wrap it up later today with everyone's favorite discussion of party chat, gamer rage.
Rage on.
And what fuels your fire.
Everybody. NPCs, multiplayer, anything.
Pretty much just playing games in general.
Playing games can be pretty frustrating.
Are we ready?
I'm ready.
All right.
Let's dive in.
Let's put this baby into gear.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I took off early.
You're always cheating, man.
This week's player select is VR gaming. What a concept. Have you actually played VR games?
I mean, I've watched a lot of video of people getting into it, and then I do know someone who has like one of those Samsung like phones, and they give you like, it comes with like a headset, and it lets you do like, I guess that's kind of like VR gaming. One of the games that was available was like Temple Run.
Okay.
Like the mobile game, and it was really difficult to actually play the game because the controls were on the side of your head, like right next to your temple, and you had to like control like jumping and like sliding and moving left or right, touching the side of your head. And you know, I think most people who've played video games are used to having a controller, you know, in their hands.
Sure.
And I've seen some other VR videos that, you know, the people have controls in their hands, which makes sense to me. But I think Samsung, this is just a note to Samsung, just maybe give people a handheld controller as well, because like that, playing that game like that way screwed me up. But I mean, it definitely put a bad taste in my mouth of like, is this what VR game is going to be like?
Right. So my experience was I had a very similar run. Like I see there's all sorts of stuff for like Batman had a VR thing, and I've gotten in conversations with people who say VR gaming is awesome. They put the head thing on. It's got their eyes and ears are locked into the game, and I guess they still have a controller. I don't have a lot of VR experience. I realize it's still a very new thing.
Yeah, definitely.
But I hear great things from certain people about, you know, playing Resident Evil 7 with VR and playing Batman with VR. But my experience was taking someone's cell phone and putting it in essentially what was like a Google Cardboard, I guess it was called.
Yeah, I've used one of those things before.
Yeah, and I just basically looked around the room, and when I looked in a certain direction, it just walked me.
Okay.
And then if I wanted to shoot something, I would just like kind of line up the crosshairs to the zombie, and then it would shoot the gun for me.
How gratifying is that?
Yeah, that's kind of my point. I mean, granted, this was like the super early stages of VR, you know,
Right.
and that's another discussion is could that get better? I'm sure it could.
I'm 100% sure.
But yeah, bad taste in the beginning. I really like I'm also maybe not old school. I'll say traditional. I like the controller.
Yeah,
You know, I know that they have
I like the rumble. I'm saying.
yeah,
Like,
the realism and the rumble.
yeah, exactly.
They have the car wheel controllers.
Right. Yeah.
And they had the NES. I mean, even way back then had the pistol,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
the light gun.
When you were playing Duck Hunt,
Yeah, exactly.
you needed that.
And that wasn't too bad. But when it came down to VR, I don't know. It didn't do anything for me. You know, maybe I'm just an old fart.
I mean, yeah, I'm gonna join you in the old fart category, I guess, because like I agree with you. Like just like anything at the very beginning, especially since like we're talking about like mobile devices trying to like jump into that fray. You have like PlayStation who has like PSVR, and like you were talking about earlier with like Resident Evil 7 giving you the ability to make the whole game feel a lot more immersive, having you like put on a headset and like that's how you're playing the game. And I'm sure the controller is a part of that whole thing. That sounds like that sounds interesting to me, of course. But like, how much you're already spending like $300+ to get the console.
Yeah, let's not push this aside and act
Yeah.
like this is just something you can throw $40 into when you got this.
Exactly. Like with that much technology, that headset is going to cost you a good amount of money.
Sure. Plus the controllers, and I know even in some sections I read that you can kind of almost install things in certain rooms to define borders in the game and kind of alert you when you're too close to a wall. And like they brought up all these concerns when the Wii first came out about you got to use that wrist strap because
Right.
you'll just start throwing your
Yeah.
remote at the TV and destroying things. And Nintendo doesn't want to take any part in the blame for that.
No, they're just telling you to just like stand away from your TV 6 feet because that's going to definitely help you out.
The optimal range for the Wii is if you can just barely make out the text on the TV. That's the distance you're supposed to be at when you play these games. But I've seen there's a surgery game, surgery simulator,
I've
or whatever
seen
it's
that.
called. And I mean that game looks awesome, but I've seen people play it, for the PC, and of course, they struggle. It's hilarious to watch somebody, but now they have it in VR, and coming from this self-shooting zombie game, which I feel like was just kind of a demo, just to take a big screen and put it in
This is
front
where
of
the
your
technology
eyes.
can go.
Yeah, you were telling me about Temple Run, and I'm thinking that people are like jerking their head really quick to the left and to the right to control the guy in Temple Run, and I was like, is it in like first person view?
It is, yeah.
Oh, it is.
Right.
Okay, so it's got like a Mirror's Edge kind of feel to it.
That's that I was just thinking about that right now.
Yeah.
It's like it would be fun for a game like that where especially the very first one, not the most recent one, but the very first one, where you kind of like just spend most of the time doing like your kind of like parkour stuff and jumping around. So combat wasn't really that important. And I think like having a game in that perspective would be really cool. But for me, it's just the fact like, okay, like you when you were talking about you're gonna have to have a room set up and have borders put in. Like this is like
Yeah, it's gonna be an investment.
like I was saying in our cold open. Like this is something like the rich kids are going to have. Like it doesn't seem like something that I think gaming is like, oh, we have to dip into all these other aspects of technology. Maybe you don't have to. Like who really is going to get a game where they have to like set up a room and make sure that everything is bordered out, and then when they're playing like Call of Duty, that they're really inside of the map running around. Like I don't want to be inside a war. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah, I see too many flaws and safety concerns, and they may figure this out, but I just have a really hard time seeing the future past a gimmick.
Right.
Like I really don't see competitive playing being done in VR. I could barely fathom the idea of playing Call of Duty with like my eyes and ears completely surrounded into the game. I mean, I suppose it'd be a fun experience, but I mean, I'm talking the difference between, a new way of playing games and a gimmick. And I think to be placed into a video game, oh yeah, that's kind of cool, but do you want to carry the fake gun and like you're suddenly going to realize you're actually a really horrible shot and it's exhausting to stand
Right.
and do, well, not to stand in general. I hope that's not the case. But, some people have gone as far as, making treadmills so they can walk forward and the game will respond, and like that's cool, but I'm sure they're $1,000 setups.
Yeah, those
And
are
they're
games
kind of
of
ridiculous.
distraction.
Like sometimes
Yeah.
you just want to chill and just play a game, and
100%.
it's nerve-wracking enough just to do it from a sitting position with a controller in your hand, let alone you gotta, even Wii bowling and Wii tennis didn't make you run around,
It just
your
made
apartment
it
or
made
whatever.
You, like throw your shoulder out or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. It basically just reminding you how out of shape you were.
And I'm sure you've seen the videos online of like people who are like, they're playing whatever type of like VR game, and they're in this 3D world, and they, instead of just like using the headset to move themselves forward or whatever hand controls they have, they physically move from the device and end up like falling on their faces. So
That's
it's
what
like
I'm saying. They're blind and they're partially deaf in the same instance, and unless you're in this massive room, but who's gonna have one of those at home
Right.
unless you're of the very few people
it's
that
the rich kids. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
man, it's the rich kids.
if you got a tennis court in your backyard, you probably have a VR room.
Of course they do. Like, I mean, yeah, like you were saying before, like, it's VR to me is just like the pressing extreme on, what consoles already have. So it's like, we've already been talking about like the Wii U and the Wii having the motion controller, but PlayStation and Xbox have done the same things, and to a certain extent, PlayStation is still staying in there. And I guess they, especially with the PlayStation Pro, they feel like VR is going to be a part of their future, and perhaps it will be. But I don't feel like I need to get like maybe a headset that's going to be $150. So that's just adding just like all these other devices. How many companies are going to make something for VR?
Yeah.
Like, are we gonna have VR Rocket League? No, like that's just. But are we? You know what I mean? Like, people always, people who love like racing games, like
Right.
Gran Turismo, or Need for Speed or anything like that. The people who are really into them usually like are in the driver's seat. They're not like in like 3D, not 3D mode, but like looking at the car like from outside the car. They want to feel like they're inside. I could see it working in that aspect, but then are you gonna give them a wheel, or are they just moving their head side to side? Like,
Right.
So to me, it's just like it's a great idea, but it's probably more suitable for doctors. Give it to doctors. We don't need it. I could, science. This is for you. All right. We'll give you this science.
The technology is definitely cool, but I think, I don't necessarily think it's guaranteed to be the future, because look at like what the 3DS pulled off. The 3DS figured out how to have three-dimensional video games without the need for any kind of eye support.
Right.
And that's baller. Like that was so cool when that came out.
Shit, yeah.
And it completely blew my mind. Granted, it was on like a 6-inch screen, and then maybe they upped it slightly, whatever. But, does that mean all games are now going to come in 3D? Well, it could be a lot of work, and a lot of people may say, I mean, again, for people that support competition, people that just game casually, like maybe they don't want to fork over all the extra money for the technology, and they don't mind getting just like the vanilla,
I like
normal way to
vanilla.
play.
Vanilla's good.
There's nothing wrong with vanilla, damn it.
Yeah. People make fun of vanilla all the time. Vanilla, it could be good.
Yeah. No. So yeah, I don't see VR as the future, as cool as it might be. Maybe save it for the doctors. You're right.
Save it for the doctors, or if a VR company out there wants to give us their headset and let us
And
see.
convince us otherwise.
Yeah, convince us otherwise. Slip some money into the sponsorship, and maybe we'll change our minds. I don't know, but at this point, from everything that I've seen, and I've seen many different games played in a VR setting, it just doesn't seem like something that I would gravitate towards too.
Yeah, I could see it for the guy who has the seat and the wheel and all those controls, the hardcore driver, like you said. I can see it for
like a pilot,
interactive
like a flight simulator.
Yeah,
or
something
like
where you're
that.
stationary and likely not to like accidentally punch your friend in the head when you're standing
Exactly.
next to them. That I totally get. A friend of ours was raving about how much he enjoyed For Honor, and I'm sure if he had the opportunity to be, in first person and standing in the shoes of these guys in For Honor, he would probably love it. But, once that I would say that in that case, if he had just gotten it, the first handful of times he did it, it would be exhilarating and awesome and wouldn't stop raving about it. But come like week 2 or week 3 of owning it,
Yeah.
I feel like he'd be like, yeah, well, like I could set all that up, but the battery dies and I got to recharge it, and I kind of just want to play the game and not go through all that extra effort, and I'm just gonna sit down and play it like I always did, and so it's cool, but I don't think it'll last.
No.
Sorry, VR.
Bye-bye, VR.
Yeah, you get the thumbs down. That said, if I had one, that'd be kind of cool. This week's bit from the past is stealth games.
Sneaky types.
Games that made your heart race because it sucks to get caught.
Yeah. You just letting an alarm go off, and then a bunch of dudes start running out of the corner and shooting
It's
at you.
nerve-wracking. It's terrible.
It's
I
not-
love it, though.
It's fun.
Like, I really like it. Like, are you like a stealth game player? Because some people, it's a love-hate relationship with some people. Like, they love it. They love the chase and the thrill. Other people, they just want to run in there guns blazing and just put bullets through everything.
When it comes to stealth games, a lot of the times I'll try to make any regular game into a stealth game. Like I'll try to see if I can go prone or crawl on the ground. If I could go stealth in Gears of War, that would be great. But that's not that's not the type of game
That's funny. By default, you make it a stealth game, though.
Right? Yeah. Like if I could just like be slowly going down all around the place, that would be great. Hitman is one of those games that the first time I played it, I was just like, you've granted my dreams. Like you're not someone who has like a whole cache of weapons. You may have a pistol. Most of the time you have like a piano wire.
Right.
You know, like
The classic.
that's all you need, and like you just walk around, and the only thing that you have to do is like change your outfit, and people suddenly are like, oh yeah, that is the cook. I don't remember him. I don't remember him being bald, but yeah, that's definitely the cook. I don't know why he's carrying a syringe, but whatever.
I've worked here for 4 years. It's the first time I've seen him, but I'm sure he works here.
He's acting mighty suspicious, crouching behind the counter, but whatever. To each his own.
Right. I'm sure he's just looking for ketchup.
Exactly.
I don't know.
And then that game was Hitman, and it still is a series that's out now. But it's so much fun because it gave you so many different options because you were playing it in a stealth way. Like you could like find a pistol, find an automatic weapon, and try to go guns blazing. But next thing you know, your target is probably like leaving the area, and then you're gonna like risk dying very quickly. So it behooved you, one of my favorite words. To just be that sneaky guy. How about yourself, man?
I mean, like you, I try to turn every game into a stealth game if I can. I've always preferred that thief, sneaky, long range kind of play. In Battlefield, like I choose to be the sniper. Just because I kind of like just having that opportunity to be like, all right, I got one bullet, and I better time this well. That was just always my preferred way to do it. That started probably with the first Splinter Cell.
Oh yeah, Splinter Cell, Sam Fisher.
Yeah. I played that first. That was, I'm sure something else came out before that, but that was probably my first like major stealth game, along with Metal Gear 2.
Sons of the PlayStation one. Like
Sons
of
like
Liberty.
I guess it was. Well, no, even further back than that. It was, I guess, Metal Gear Solid 2. Whatever, or the remake. It had to be a remake from like the NES one.
Oh, okay, all right.
With like I don't know if the characters
was
repeat.
it 8-bit? Was it 8-bit graphics?
No. No. This was the one that came out for the first PlayStation. It had like 4 discs and.
Oh, word.
Yeah.
Yeah. The one like with Mantis and like.
Yes.
All right, I remember that. I love that.
Yeah, the one that like freaked you out because it could read your mind and move the controller.
Yes, I love that.
All those small things that made it such an amazing experience. I absolutely loved. I think those were definitely the first two games that really introduced me into stealth. Of course, and then Assassin's Creed came along, which I absolutely loved in concept, from the theme to having that little badass hidden blade that you just kind of walk by passively.
Yeah.
You know, stab him in the pelvis and just move on with your day.
Just keep it moving.
Like it never
Nothing to
happened.
see here.
And then when it comes to Skyrim, with a game like that that's so large, you can play it so many ways. I was still like the thief. I love the thrill of sneaking around and trying to steal stuff without getting caught, or playing any scenario where basically if you did get caught, it was over. And I don't know, that was just a thrill. That was just the chase for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump on the Metal Gear bandwagon. As everybody knows, I mention Metal Gear a lot because I'm still playing Metal Gear Solid 5. But I remember with the one like you were talking about with Mantis, just having a game that allowed you to like go inside of a locker to hide. I'm just like, this is all right. This is different. And then with Sons of Liberty, what I thought was really cool is you could do pull-ups with Snake when you're like on this when you're on this ship, like the first level when you're like I think it's in New York, and you're in a ship and you're just like the first like 2 hours you're Snake. I know everybody later on hates the fact that you become like Raiden after that, but I'm like I still got to play the game.
Right.
But he was kind of a whiny character, but whatever. He still like implemented the game the way you liked it, but they changed it. The game evolved from just being able to like you're hiding behind this like container versus you are in like the jungle and you're trying to like hide in all of these different types of areas. Did you ever get a chance to play Siphon Filter?
No, that one I missed out on.
That was like an early maybe not early, maybe a mid like PlayStation title.
I mean, it was a big title, yeah.
Yeah, it was a big title.
It was all over, the magazines of the time, and it was a series, right? A couple came out. No?
Yeah, a couple of them came out. It kind of like reminded me of Splinter Cell, of just having this like lone character trying to like figure out this mystery, and then once in a while having people to hit on a walkie-talkie and like help them figure out some things or whatever.
Yeah, you randomly reminded me of, I think, one of the coolest things that they first introduced in, I don't even think you did in the first Splinter Cell, definitely the second one. By that point, you would be in a hallway and hear someone coming, and you had this option where you could do this double jump and then kind of land in a split. So you would have like your left leg on one wall and the right on the other one, and they would just like walk under you. Like, it was like little like ninja shit like that I was like, this is so cool. Like, I'm going to drop in on this guy and ruin him when he passes me. Like, I don't know. That was like the first time I ever saw something like that. The only thing I can think going really far back as far as being sneaky and things that destroyed me emotionally was playing
Emotional destruction.
Was playing Super Mario 64 in this one level where there is, hear me out, there's you're playing Super Mario 64, and in one of the levels towards the beginning, you can either go across this bridge and get the red coin and the bridge falls out from under you, or you can sneak past a piranha plant. And you rub up against that wall, and you're like inches away from this stupid plant.
Right.
And it seemed like no matter what you did, it still woke up.
Right.
I think. I mean, it wasn't meant to scare you.
That counts as a stealthy moment.
Those were stealthy moments.
Yeah.
I thought of that before, and I was like, I'm going to bring that up because I can't be the only person who played Super Mario 64 and dealt with that.
No, I remember that,
and especially the first time, and you were like, because you're so close to it.
A game that's far ago that I played for the Xbox 360 was Mark of the Ninja. I don't know if that ever came out for like any of for Sony, but
no, I don't know.
And there's plenty of other like ninja titles that we can bring up, but it was like an Xbox 360 like arcade title, so it was kind of like platformer style, and like this says in the title, you were a ninja, and you just spent most of the time just trying to like creep around and like stay in the shadows, like find different ways to like use your weapons so you can like be in the shadows, out of sight. You would throw your katana or whatever like throwable weapon you had to take out your enemies. It was I think I still go back to play that game every once in a while because of, once again, like just loving that. I don't know what kid did not want to be a ninja at some point.
Oh, I'm still trying to be. Basically.
Yeah. The dream continues.
Yeah. No, I've thought long and hard about ninja, cowboy, or pirate, and I think I settled on ninja.
Ninja, cowboy, or pirate.
Yeah, you got to pick one, and it's not easy.
I think it is. I think ninja is on the top because I don't
Really not a pirate. Like,
Well, you see-
Jack Sparrow, friggin' Robert Kenway, Assassin's Creed pirate.
Pirates never got. I was never cool with pirates because I was always just like, are they eating fish all the time? Where are they getting fresh water from? Isn't that where scurvy came from? I'm like, no, not with that. And then with cowboys, kind of like the same thing. Like, I don't want to like be. I gotta like beat two rocks together so I can like start a fire.
So what are ninjas
Am I gonna have to eat my horse? Ninjas are just chilling in the
What are they?
chilling in the
Photosynthesize?
well, chilling in the darkness, making sure you can't hear their hearts beat, and like sneaking inside of your kitchen, making themselves a sandwich right in front of you, and you don't even realize it. Ninjas are invisible.
I never thought of that.
Just
Sandwich making ninja in the
I'm
the
sure
kitchen.
I'm sure in the history of ninjas, there's been one or a few
Who's made a sandwich?
that's made a sandwich and just like left you a note. You need more mayo or something like that.
Yeah. No argument there. Ninja is definitely where I want to be.
Cowboys never done that.
No, never. Did you ever play Abe's Odyssey?
Abe's Odyssey.
Yeah, remember you're like the alien
Wasn't
with
it
like
like a
your
PC
mouth,
game?
like. No. It might have been actually. I'm almost positive it was a PlayStation exclusive.
Oh.
It was about like a tall, thin alien that had his mouth stitched shut, and then he worked in a factory
Oh.
and found out that the food was being made by like his own people. And then you had to
That's
like
horrible.
sneak your way out. It was kind of a dark and twisted game. I think I
It sounds
introduced
like it, yeah.
in the first. Well, it was funny is that it was a very the concept by the way I just described it. Yeah, that sounds like a terrible dark game, but it was relatively popular. It had several games come out, and it was the character was very lighthearted for a very like dark scenario.
Okay.
But you'd basically rescue other workers and just like avoid the overseers and all the. I guess all the guys that would oversee the factory, you always had to sneak past them all and trick them into going in one direction so you could pass them. It was a platformer.
So it was like
more
an
or less.
interesting like puzzle game.
Yeah. Yes.
All right, cool. Thinking of dark and twisted stealth games. I don't know if you ever had a chance of playing Manhunt. That was a
No, I
that was a dark and twisted game because the whole scenario is like you are a convict or you are in prison, and this game show gives you the ability to get out if you just go around and find interesting ways to kill gangs that happen to be in the prison
Wait,
as well.
a game show?
It's a yeah. So so the game is like so basically like the warden is presenting it to you as if like you're playing this game for your life. Like if you make it to the end, then you get to go. And then like
So the
throughout-
warden comes up to me and says, "I got this pilot for this game show I'm working on."
I mean, I don't know if there was that much thought in put into it. Like it wasn't like a Family Feud style type of thing where
Okay.
you had to get the right answer. It was
Right.
just more like, hey, listen, tough guy, you wanna get out of here? Well, we need you to kill all the these dudes on this floor, and if you do that, then we'll give you access to the next floor. And if you kill those guys, you get to continue to move on, and then you find out more information about the character and like the warden and like how much more dirt about them basically. And the crazy thing about the game is like some of the tools that you had to use to kill people were like a plastic bag or a drill. Like
Plastic bag. I'm like, all right, well, yeah, they'll suffocate them. That's not, that's
not
obviously
too
not
crazy.
that's bearable. But then you followed that with drill, and I just
and
I
it was
feel about that.
and once again it was another game where you had to you're crouching, you're trying to like stay in the shadows, and then like once a dude turns his back, you leap up with your plastic bag and wrap it around their face, and then
And then he just slowly
they
falls
go
asleep.
they go night night. Yeah,
They go-
yeah. You
Go night night.
Yeah. You decide what happens. I always thought I played this game. I was pretty young. I was like, they're going night night.
Right. Right. Just going to sleep like all the Batman games.
Right.
No matter how many times you punch him in the head, they're just napping.
I mean, yeah, Batman could be put in this category as well, but we have to all be honest with ourselves. Batman has killed a lot of people.
Oh, Batman has killed.
Okay, not just the people he's putting in a coma or in traction. He has killed tons. I think that's one of the reasons why I was kind of a fan of Batman versus Superman, Dawn of Justice.
Okay.
I might have been one of the only people.
Controversial movie, but
if you look at, you've seen the movie.
I have not seen the movie.
Oh man, bro.
I've heard a lot, but
you
I have
gotta
not
see
seen it.
Just separate yourself from the original, not the original Superman, but the Superman at Man of Steel. Don't think of Man of Steel.
Well, lucky you, I haven't seen that either.
Okay, well just watch the last 15 minutes of Man of Steel so you can understand the first 10 minutes of Batman versus Superman.
Makes sense.
And like the whole context of why people are pissed off at him, and then it's not that bad of a movie. I would give it a 7 out of 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
I would recommend. I'm doing right now. I would recommend that movie.
All right. I will. No, you know what? I'm a Batman fan. I will consider.
Yeah, that's
when it's available to me. I will check it out. I'm glad we brought up Batman because I think it definitely falls into the stealth category.
Of course, yeah.
And I mean it did it really well. I mean, I don't know anyone that ever really played Batman. One person, but he's an exception. That was not, a fan of how they made the Batman series and what they've done and what they continue to do.
Yeah, Arkham Asylum was. I mean, I
love that game.
You have like the grappling hook, and you're just standing on top of a gargoyle, looking down, and then like you hit X, and then you just glide and knock this guy out. I'm like, has to be in the top.
That's
category,
a broken neck and several damaged vertebrae. That's, I mean, that may not be instant death, but it's death to follow.
Once again, he's one of my favorite DC heroes, but he's a murderer.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah, I absolutely love stealth games. It's like you said, it's the first thing I jump to, and I find I wrap my head around so much more when I play in a stealth fashion. I'll go back to my example with Skyrim. Like if I played as a warrior with two swords and I had all this powerful armor on, I would just sprint in there and just hack and slash everyone to death and just call it a day. But in a stealth fashion where I know that I'm not really well protected and I only have like a little dagger instead of this massive sword, and like I kind of plan the whole character accordingly, then stealth has to be 90% of my game, because if I don't, they'll just all come flying in the room and kill me and it'll be over. And that's kind of an aspect I actually enjoy, but I know it's not for everybody.
Yeah, I mean it's one of the things that, like, if you'd like a game to have some degree of tension, if you're not like if it's not a first person shooter that has you like running around a battlefield, or some other type of game where you're like a lone soldier and you have like all these different types of weapons, similar to what they did recently with the Tomb Raider series. Like Tomb Raider in the past, you were just running around like wielding like two weapons or whatever. Now there were elements in it. Of course, it was an action thriller type of game, but you gained more in XP if you were stealthily attacking people, and I just think it's always fun to do. That's one of the reasons why I'm probably still playing Metal Gear Solid 5, because of like all the stealth elements in there. Like I'm taking this slow journey of this game because I don't want to. To me, it's not as fun as just being all powerful. Like I think when you try to figure out, it kind of makes you kind of make it your own little puzzle when you like figure out everybody's path, and then you finally like decide, oh, I'm gonna leap in and do my little thing. I think that those are like the best elements of a game.
Yeah.
To wrap up today's episode, we're going to end with a party chat with what else? Gamer Rage.
Gamer Rage.
Just like that. When you get really close to your headset and you're just like, what the fuck are you doing?
It's something we all experience and love. Not at the time, but it's something we can all definitely relate to. I admit I am slightly prone to gamer rage, but yet for all the right reasons. I am a big advocate of the Steep and Skate series,
Okay.
which all require you, for those of you that don't play those kind of games, they basically lay out this plan for you, which if you pull off, you have to basically do about 6 or 7 things right on the first try.
Okay. All right.
You know, they'll say jump on this, and then you're gonna spin this and turn this way, and then jump on this, and then land this way. And if you screw any of that up in the process, you got to start over.
Wait, what? Not like from the last one, like from number 1.
Like they'll say, you know, hit this ramp, kickflip over this, and then land, get enough speed, and then do a backflip over this, land on this rail and grind it, and then land that trick.
That sounds simple enough.
It sounds simple enough until you've done it for the 60th time, because
Right.
you get halfway there and then you slip, or you're not going fast enough, or you miss the rail. And the problem is that when I do it for the 60th and 70th time, I'm so like my blood is boiling.
just done
My
with
wife
it.
has to remind me it's just a game. Like, you know, I don't go into a violent rage about it, but you know, deep down I am screaming like a child.
Right.
I don't know what comes out except like, you know, maybe but it's so much darker than that on the inside. But I love those games. And I still play them, because when you finally do land it, which I guess I kind of like, because it does kind of feel that way in real life. Like if you play a skateboard video game and if you skate in real life, when you're learning to skate, you know, you suck at it in the beginning, and then as you keep practicing over and over, eventually you get it. And the moment you do, that's thrilling, because all your hard work pays off. This game is, you know, or those games are just like that. Do you have a game that
I mean, I'm
completely
gonna
boils you?
This is me beating a dead horse. We're gonna bring up Metal Gear Solid 5.
Is there another game besides Metal Gear Solid?
I'm not. There's no other games. It's the best game ever. But I bring that game up again because it's the game that started a new habit for me, where now I find myself, after trying to complete a mission, by the 5th or 6th time, now I'm standing in front of the TV. Just like,
Great.
I am going to figure. You are not going to stop me. I'm gonna figure this out, and then I'm going to bed. Like,
We are not turning off this TV until I fix this.
You're not winning. I'm going to win this. Like there was like a side mission that I had to do recently, where it was just like, you have to do this completely in stealth. That's it. You get no weapons. You have none of your top gear. You have to truly sneak around. And I can't tell you the slight dumb little thing that I would do. Like basically they want you to like go through it and not kill anyone. I killed everybody. Like I just found the best way to sneak up on people, distract them, use D-Dog. Like I'm gonna get everybody. Just no one is standing in my way. And that was my rage moment with that game. And then I sat down and I was just like, okay, maybe we should play something else.
Right.
Let's get a little Rocket League in here to calm us down.
I don't know if that's any better, to be honest.
No, and
that
then
was
it
on my
started,
list.
Yeah, and then it started again, because then you have, you're driving around and you're right there next to the soccer ball. You're about to get inside the goal, and then one of your own teammates knocks you out of the way, and it's just like, why are we doing this together?
Why? Who?
Yeah,
What?
yeah. Like, do you want the glory? You're gonna get an assist. Like.
You know what's funny though is that in Rocket League, all of that happens, and everything is super inconvenient, and I get tossed around, and I constantly miss things, and my teammates yell at me for how bad I play sometimes, but I kind of laugh it off. But I don't laugh off my skate and steep scenario, or if I'm playing NBA 2K, and I appreciate the realism, but there are times, especially if I play online with somebody, that I guess I just get mad because I'm just not that good. And I admit that.
Right.
But there are sometimes, that I know I did everything right, and it just still doesn't happen, and it makes the small victories smaller, and the losses that much worse.
Well, I mean, I can kind of relate with like a game like FIFA, even though it's a sports title. There are I remember just going through like the skills because it's been a long time. Like the last one I played was like FIFA 14, and now that they have FIFA 17, and I've been trying to play that, I'm like, all right, let me try out all the new skills, and you have to like hit all these like pylons and marks correctly and make sure you pass the ball the right way, and when you're practicing as the goalie that you go in the right direction, and if you miss it by like whatever score margin, you have to do it all over again. They're like, and they straight up let you know in your face like failure. I'm like, no, God, come, just don't call me a failure.
You failed.
Yeah,
You are a failure.
like you failed. You can't, and if you fail that portion of the skills, like you can't move forward. You can't skip that. You have to get past it. So I found myself like, and I mentioned this to my friend. Like I found myself doing training and things that I didn't even have to do. That he didn't even touch. Like I mentioned this to him, and he's just like, why? And I'm just like, because I wanted to show this game that I could do it. All right.
That I ain't no bitch.
Exactly. Like you're not gonna tell me what I can't do. I could do it.
Right.
And
yeah.
And this rage can go over to like NPCs, like a game that I'm going to bring up a lot because the next title is coming up next month, Mass Effect.
Mm-hmm.
I love Mass Effect, but it's like one of those games where you have your team and you can tell them and you can direct them to do certain things in the map to help you out. Go over there and attack those guys, use some element against those people, protect me, these type of things. And a lot of times they just don't pay attention. and you're just looking at this inanimate person and just being like, what the hell is wrong with you? Just go over there, and you would hope that you have like this big bruiser right next to you that they would help you like kill whatever enemy that's coming to attack you.
Be effective somehow.
Exactly, but then you find yourself doing most of the work. This happens with like I remember like with like Ghost Recon, like having the same issue where you issue commands to your guys and then like they run over and people are shooting at them and they're not shooting back and they're just like, what are you doing? Do I have to demote you as a I don't know, man.
My problem with NPCs, there's a classic moment. I'll say two of them. Earlier games still had friendly fire, and I remember playing. We were talking about last week. We were talking about GoldenEye, and there would be instances when I was in a massive shootout, and if I had an NPC following me, if we had to get from whatever point A to point B, the NPC would walk in front of me mid-fire. And then I would take them out, and then it would say, mission failed, I killed Natasha, or whatever. And that wasn't even something, like, I even took the chance on. They just blatantly said, I can't handle the pressure, I'm out of here, and walked right in front of my gunfire. And that used to drive me crazy.
Are you saying that they had suicide by your gun?
Yes. I'm saying that this was an intentional death by an NPC with no feelings.
Well, I mean, I've I guess that same scenario happens when you're playing Call of Duty or something like that online with a bunch of other friends, and friendly fire is not turned off, and you end up like killing one of your own teammates. That's when you experience real gamer rage. Because I am not, and I will never claim to be a great like multiplayer first-person shooter guy. Like I can't like I try my best whenever the rankings come through. I'm usually the guy who had like 15 deaths and 3 kills.
Yeah, that sounds like me. Yeah.
Like I'm the one who's always really proud because I ended somebody's streak and that person's streak was on me.
Oh yeah, when you kill the guy, when it's like you killed the whatever the
leader
of
of the
team,
board.
Yeah,
yeah.
You're like, oh yeah, sweet, and of course you die right after. But
Exactly. Like I'm
in that moment.
I'm that dude. But then I also will end up killing my teammate who's leading the board, and then like later on when we get back into the chat room, he's just like, yo man, what the fuck? Like, what happened? What is wrong with you? Why do you suck? I'm just like, I don't know, man. Like, this isn't real. Like,
see, I know a lot of people that feed off of other people's anger. Like if you're prone to getting really bad gamer rage and you feel the need to mic yourself into a public chat, then you are like the number one target for the people that are like, oh, I'm just gonna follow this guy around and constantly stand in his way for my own amusement.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And if you don't give them anything to feed off of, then they get bored and they go and harass someone else. But if every time you spawn and say if friendly fire is on, you spawn and this guy who's on your team shoots you and he knows the response is you're going to be like, oh, what the hell? Like, same team, da-da-da. You start screaming him and calling him names and wishing horrible things upon him. Like, I mean, I would do the same thing. I would laugh and keep doing it because I'm just gonna egg you on because you take this way too seriously. Like it's just a game.
That's one way to do it.
You know what? Like people kill you in Grand Theft Auto Online. Like you could always just leave the room. Or they created passive mode or whatever the other options are to prevent that kind of stuff. And I know that games take good measures to kind of put the people that like to murder you for no reason,
create a balance.
Yeah, they start to kind of put you in rooms with other people who like to do that, and I think that's smart. I know we praise Rockstar an awful lot on this
Rockstar.
podcast.
Yeah.
And other games are starting to to take into it. But yeah, I mean, if you take it that seriously, I mean, I'm sure everyone has heard conversations going on between two people, whether they're just like, people don't like playing with new players. Like if someone sucks, just let them suck. Like, what's the big deal?
I mean, like just like you said, like now, to avoid things like that, like, now if you go into a lobby, they make sure that everybody is at the same level, at the same rank, so you don't have like too many issues. Like everybody basically can progress at the same time. You don't have a level 42 fighting you get to level 5. Grand Theft Auto may be different because like if you like jump into a race, somebody may have more races than you, but it doesn't necessarily, depending on how the game was set up, they may not have like a better car than you. And if they're the type of person who likes to bump into other people, they may screw up and you'll beat them in the end.
I forgot about that. I haven't played that in a while. You just reminded me how much I absolutely hate people that intentionally steer into you, or they try to like turn you out. Like they'll like basically hit the side and then spin you out. Like, come on! Like, competition is fun. Like, that's what it's there for. Like, stop ruining it.
For me, that's the best because like I love it when you do it and it's on a map where you're like right next to a guardrail. So like they hit you from the back, and like give you that extra boost. And if you find a way to like tip them, and then they knock into the guardrail, it's just like, well, there you go, balance.
Wait, so you're the guy that likes to spin out the cars?
No. But
we got a bigger problem.
Because like whenever you get like a nice little drift off of somebody and like you're right in front of them, they'll try to hit you from the back of your car, and sometimes they will get you off on a wrong angle for themselves and screw themselves up. That's what I like. The guys who think like, oh, this map is mine, I'm gonna take over, and then end up screwing up the balance of rage.
Yeah, I've heard conversations. I can't believe. I mean, again, I love to egg on people that get really upset, especially if it's like a 12-year-old kid, and he's telling me that he's gonna give me cancer, or I don't know, whatever he can come up with.
Wow.
Well,
that'd be impressive. I mean, I would be upset, but how did the kid give you cancer through a
video
game?
I think I'd be more dumbfounded as to how that actually worked out.
Yeah.
I'm impressed.
I would love the cure if you have it, but I'm still impressed that you were able to do this.
Yeah, Gamer Rage is amazing. It comes out in such unusual times, and I think that it totally it feeds the reason why we like playing games almost. Like I like a challenge. I don't like a challenge like I like Bloodborne.
Right.
Like, not that kind of challenge, because that's hardcore. I'll just straight up tell you that I'm not good enough, and I am a gamer. I have been for a long time. I do not game so seriously that I need that kind of challenge. I do like to feel like I do have some kind of chance going.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, like games like what is it? Dark Souls? Doesn't it do a similar thing where you just like once you die, if you haven't hit a checkpoint, and the checkpoints are like they span very far from one another in the map, you have to like go way back. Everything you've ever collected is gone, and you have to like start from the very beginning. I'm just like, whew.
See that's something that like if everyone has like that one nerve in gamer rage that they just like have to just stop playing and get back to it when they kind of can calm down and maybe pick it up tomorrow. Other people, beating me up or yelling at me and saying I'm not good at whatever game I'm playing, that's fine. But when you invest like 15 minutes into some kind of effort,
Right.
and then you die, and then the autosave is all the way, puts you all the way back, and you have to start all like, no, absolutely
That's
not.
not for me.
That's annoying. Like
Yeah.
that's not challenge. That's just forcing me to go back and do it all over again. And I'm not gonna learn anything except remember where all the people came out of and where all the little things are. But I already got that experience the first time, and so yeah, I'm the guy that auto saves like all the freaking time, because that will ruin a good night of gaming for me if I have to redo all 15 minutes of whatever the hell I was doing.
The funny thing, and I don't mind bringing it up again. The funny thing that Metal Gear Solid 5.
I like how you warned me.
I don't care anymore.
I want to put in a description, and Val talks about Metal Gear Solid 5.
Yeah. The funny thing that it'll do to you is like if you like let's say like maybe 2 or 3 times you're unsuccessful at like a mission, it'll be like, hey, why don't we just put a chicken hat on you? So just to make you realize that you suck, and we're gonna make it so much easier that all you're gonna have is like 2 enemies to go up against. And I always get like pissed off whenever they suggest that to me. I'm like, no, I don't want a goddamn chicken hat. What the hell? I'm a grown ass man. Chicken hat.
I mean, I know the chicken hat, concept, and I played the game, but I think that's so funny that you're like, no, I'm not wearing the chicken hat. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do it right.
I'll stand and
It's
figure
like
this
insulting.
out. All right?
Yeah, you're the guy that stands. Yeah. Oh, that's too funny. I'll lean into the TV, but I don't stand. I'm not quite there yet. Maybe I'll graduate.
And then whenever I do it, my wife will look at me and just like, it's not that serious. I'm like, it is serious, all right? You understand how much time I put into this?
You understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's terrible. Guys, if you'd like to share your favorite gamer rage moments or tell me about all the mean things a 12-year-old once said to you, please feel free to reach out to us through social media. We are at the Couch Jockeys Pod.
Yup.
You can also find us on Instagram and
Podcatch.
Go ahead, you almost got it.
Pod Couch Jockey.
Pod Couch Jockey?
Yeah.
Oh,
that was all that was available, bro.
For what? For Instagram?
For Instagram.
Oh man, I had no idea. I follow it and I had no idea. Find us on all that social stuff.
Yes.
And that wraps up this episode.
Yeah, we'll see you next time.
We look forward.
Game over.